A short little introductory talk on the I-Ching or the I-Ching. It is an ancient Chinese classic. I-Ching or I-Ching. The Yi or the I is a word for that came to mean change, and Jing or Ching just means book or classic. So it is called the classic or the book of change or the book of changes. And it is a very old book. For example, it's older than Confucius, and it's older than the other school of thought that was prevalent when Confucianism was beginning. That's Taoism, Taoism, Lao Tzu, or the Tao Te Ching, and its other branches. This book is older than those two things and older than a lot of other things. And both Confucianism and Taoism have their roots in this classic. And a lot of other kinds of Chinese thought have their roots in this classic as well. It is an enigmatic book. It's not an easy book to understand or to learn, and it has many facets. We can say, for one thing, that it is an evolved book. It is not a book that was written all at once, but it evolved over time, and it continues to evolve. It appears that the name of the Book of Changes, seems to be highly appropriate not only for the contents and the function of the book, but the book's own life as it has continued to live up to its name with an evolution and a change. Not a change in its original core structure, but changes in its application, its interpretation, its meaning, and its generation of ideas and wisdom and uses. We are going to present a little picture here of one of the covers of the book. This is the edition, as you can see, by Richard Wilhelm. This was published by Princeton University Press, and it was the first English version to become extremely popular. Many feel it to be the best version that was ever written, and there are other opinions about other versions. The opinions of versions, of course, varies greatly. Here is, for example, a picture of another one. That's, well, just a word about Wilhelm, first of all. Wilhelm was a German. You see his name right over here, Wilhelm. Baines is the one who translated the German into English. Wilhelm was German, and he was a Jesuit, and he went to China as a missionary and became extremely gifted. I think it was innate in understanding and translating the Chinese language. And he was so impressed with the Chinese language and the Chinese culture, and treated the whole culture and literature with such respect that he became very well respected by the Chinese themselves. And ultimately, his work of absorbing and translating Chinese culture became much more important to him than any of his missionary work. In fact, one remark, he says, "I'm very proud to not have converted one Chinese all the time I was in China." Here is, for example, another version, and this is called the Complete I-Ching, as you see on the bottom there, a definitive translation by the Taoist master Alfred Huang, Huang. There you can see the little back of the book here. And this is another excellent translation and presentation of the book. This man himself suffered great persecution in China for studying the book during the time of the communist regime. After the communists took over China, this book was, of course, banned, and any talk about it or any use of it was forbidden completely. There are many, many, many translations of this I-Ching in Chinese, in Japanese, in other Asian languages, and of course in other languages of the world, European languages, and of course in English. Many of them are good translations. Unfortunately, like any Eastern text, you can have watered down versions. You're going to have some that are really just to get the public to pay attention to them without any real content that's worth dealing with in any serious way. It's as if you are dealing with a game or almost less than a paraphrase of what is an extremely important document with a great deal to teach. Well, one thing about the I-Ching is that it's completely unique in the history of literature of the world. We will take a look next at a couple of the factors that make this book unique, not only because it's extremely ancient or because it's had a great amount of influence in many, many areas, but also because the book itself is unique as a text, because its own structure is different than any other book, and how it functions is even more interesting. So we will talk a little bit about that the next time we get together, and thank you.